Good morning, Rabbi Isai. We have a bunch of Geshmak. I don't know who they are really, but they look good. It's like Geshmak, the Flatbush Chevra are here. Rabbi Samet, that's how you pronounce it? The Magid Shir. You work, so, those are the guys I love. Working Talmud Chacham. Our kind of guy. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Shalom Aleichem. Also, from Muncie. No connection to these guys? No connection. You fit right in though. Shkoyach. Haven't missed a day. Yishkoyach, that's the way we like it. The way he said it now. There was a guy that was here. You saw him also. They always come after Shachar. He said, I'm with you since Shabbos Daf Beis. And he didn't say a word during Shir. Sad. Where is he, that guy? He's not here now. Shalom Aleichem.
Shmuley Goldberg.
Bird. Shalom Aleichem. Moed Cotton. Yivaldik. From
I was here a year ago.
You chap that I don't. I say Shalom Aleichem to people. They say I was here yesterday. I'm like, what? Can't explain it. What's your name?
I'm from Schechter.
From
the Tefillin Awareness Project.
Oh, Shalom Aleichem. So you have stuff. You know how to explain to the Olam?
I'm the one that organizes it. I get the sefer to come to shul.
Did you bring a sefer with you today or not really?
No, I didn't get a reply.
Yeah. There's no replies here. Okay, so maybe in middle shir you'll be able to tell us a couple of things.
We'll see.
Okay, so we'll see how it goes. You'll remind me. Somebody remind me. Menachos in the middle shir, tell me to speak to him. Tefillin Project Awareness. Maybe he has a few. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Ari Golster.
From?
West Rogers Park.
Ooh, Chicago. Babakama.
So my father's ticket for the cruise.
Really? But wait a minute, when I come to Chicago, you don't show up over there. What's Pshat?
Not yet.
Not yet. No, you better. We need people like you over there. Shalom Aleichem. What's your? From? Rabbi Shem. Shalom Aleichem. And you guys, I've seen you a bunch of times. From? Lakewood. Shalom Aleichem. And this guy, the young guy, what's your name? You with him? Oh, you're here every day. Okay. That's the guest table. He threw me in for a loop. You see, he's here every day. All right. I'm not going to go over the story again, but there's a guy by the name of Baruch Shafnas. He's sitting right over there with the beard. He's shaking. You see, look, turn around. I went over to him. I'm just telling it to you because you're new here. I went over and I said, listen, I see you doing the daf. Maybe you could join the shir. He's like, I come to your shir every day. I've been there for 2 years. For 2 years. Don't ask. It's not a good story, but it's an Amos story. Rabbi Isai MDY at the 2026 Camp Expo.
MDY booth set up with beautiful Gemaras ready to give to you.
The only thing we need is your commitment. Have an amazing, awesome, wonderful, epic rockstar day.
Look at this. Peretz Chaim Levine got a Holocaust survivor to join the shir. And he gave a Gemara to radio host Sid Rosenberg on ABC News. They spoke about the daf, about MDY. Sorel,
Hey, Rebelli, we are here at the camp show. Yossi, of course, the reason that iDigital Dove started doing the daf. And we are watching today's shir at the camp show.
It's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi.
That's right, we are watching it at the camp show right now on the screen. Come on down, check it out, booth 115,
Yossi.
MDY. It's not about the daf, it's about the...
Rabbi Isai Naftali Zanzibar is here with us with his chevra, and this is his son who gets a big mazel tov. He's Messiah, his first Masechta ever at the age of 4. No, I'm just kidding. What is it? Where's Naftali? Where's he? Right here. Naftali, so hey, you're hiding over there. Was it Aleph Beis? It's got to start somewhere. He's a big fan. This guy does the daf with us, Bemis. But I want to remind the Olam, I said over here, and he's here now, so I'm going to say, it's a big chizuk. Naftali told me back then, and I showed it to the Olam, that he realized he was doing a paramedic course, and he had to do 30 hours a week to become a paramedic. And he did a cheshbon nefesh. He said, if I could do 30 hours a week for paramedic, I should do a little bit for Torah. He showed me the other day his calendar. Every single day, he puts in a couple of hours, 2-3 hours a day, and at the end of the week, he says, oh, I got at least 15, 18 hours of Torah in. He has Zdarim in Mishnah Yomi, in Tehillim Yomi, and this Yomi. He has a whole 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it's consistent. He made everybody can make that cheshbon. If you have time for Netflix, you have time for YouTube, you have time for shtusim, you have time for the news, you put another few minutes. Doesn't matter how many, just another 5-10 minutes a day. You don't have to be Naftali's absent. Weiter. We're running late here. Should I read this? Further absolutely no. First and foremost, let me know in the heavenly art. I like this thing because he says the early ones. It's written in an interesting way. Let it be known in the heavenly archives and in the heavenly WhatsApp chats that I was for years mamish, a devoted Talmud Muvak of Rabbi. I erased his name, but Reb Naftali is also a Talmud of his. Through thick and thin, through short mesechtas and long ones, through Bein Hazmanim and Erev Yontiv pressure, I was there. A loyal listener, a card-carrying member. Then came what we shall call the schedule upheaval. My daily Seder shifted. The clock betrayed me, and I needed the daf uploaded with more zrizos. Out of pure technical necessity and absolutely no intention of rebellion, I pressed play on your share. Rebbe, what can I say? The entertainment level through the roof of Gevald. Geschmack that could wake up a Bacher Nelul. But I told myself with appropriate year Shemaim caution, maybe the Eon is a stickle less, maybe it's more Geschmack than Lumdus, a serious cheshbon and Nefesh was made. So for 2 weeks I ran a scientific experiment worthy of the greatest Rosh Yeshiva. I listened to both, charts, graphs, internal turbulence. And then the emes became clear. I'm completely, utterly, irreversibly addicted. Not only to the clarity, not only to the geschmack, but to the way you somehow turn thousands around the Yid and scatter across continents into one big, warm, slightly sleep-deprived, happy Daf family. I sit on the floor every night putting my youngest to sleep, phone balanced like a professional acrobat, ear pods in, following the Daf while whispering shh every 12 seconds. I usually continue the Daf late on, so my wife knows the sugyas. My kids yell all day, there's no longer a shir, it's a family enterprise. You have created a mishpacha, so for my living room floor, on behalf of my entire household, you should koyach to you and your kehillah for what you're doing for Klal Yisrael. It's no small thing to make Torah feel alive, accessible, and yes, dangerously enjoyable. On a separate but spiritually blue thread related note, I've been wearing tchelas since the days I learned Perek Tchelas as a young man in the Mir. Back when I was still a full-time learner with more chidushim than gray hairs, I started researching the sugi seriously. The deeper I learned, the more convinced I became that this is the real deal. And even if one wants to argue Suffolk, I came to the simple conclusion, what exactly are we losing? However, the price, the Talis Kot that I managed, the Talis God felt like taking a small mashkanta. So I remained a half Geula participant. Perhaps with the Yikach of influence in the masses and united the Olam around mitzvahs, you could gently encourage a store to give a significant discount to your listeners. There will be, this was a Shabbos, which is sold out already. I mean, you can speak to Benny. I don't think we have room anymore for both. We have in the back room, okay, there'll be a significant discount. We're working on a 50% discount for first timers. Daf Yomi Mishpacha. I asked people yesterday if they want to wear my talis. Just one time to be yoitz, and nobody took me up on it. People are scared of it. A Daf Yomi Mishpacha Tchelis initiative. Imagine the schus 1,000 more wrapped in the midst of threads, courtesy of one well-placed sentence in your shir. Hint, Mishkan Tchelis. I don't know what he's saying over here. Karis is shout out to my best friend who introduced me to this shir, Reb Dovi Schwartzmer. I love this. Shout out to his best friend, this is the full name, Reb Dovi Schwartzmer, a huge Talmud Chacham and Eved Hashem, signed Be'ilum Shem. He, his name out, his chavrusa under the bus. Gewaldig. This, there's no time anymore, but this is a 15-year-old who has autism, and it's his 15th birthday, and he has all this MDY thing. We sang happy birthday. He's Israeli. We sang happy birthday for him yesterday. He was supposed to come. His parents asked him, what do you want for a birthday present? He said, I want to go to this year. And then his father had emergency cancer surgery the day before, so his mother sent in this email, and they made me a shtickle svardi over there, l'chvoy the kid. Okay. This guy says he was in Georgia, and he was halfway up the mountain, Georgia, the country, right? Skiing. Eli, that was your trip? We have a big tzaddik. Eli Berkowitz makes a trip to Georgia. How many people? Oh, it's your birthday today? Mazel tov, Mazel tov. What's his name again? Yehuda? Yaakov. I knew it was with a Y. Yaakov, Mazel tov. How old are you, Yaakov? 16. Comes every day. Mazel tov. So how many people were in Georgia this year? He makes a trip for 200-300 people, doesn't earn a dime. Maybe loses money on it. Eli Berkowitz, okay? Big tzad. Bemis. But he goes backcountry skiing this year. He did helicopter. Don't ask. Or no, not the helicopter. The snowcat. You go up fresh snow. That means you go up a snowcat and you ski down where nobody skied before. You got to be Meshugana. Yeah. So this guy says he was in Georgia. He screams out, "Good morning, Rabbi Isai," from the literal next bench over in the snow. Heard ah, and just like that, two Yidden connected via Torah in the middle of a mountain in Georgia. Your Talmud since Tainas Daf Beis, Yishai Mendelssohn, Karnei Shomron. Okay, we got to go. There's much more, but the Masechta is sponsored. Dedicated memory of Avimari Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. Welcome back, Ari Simon. Masechta sponsor Joel Gedalius, Lina Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, anonymous Hatzlacha Baruchnis of the Gashmias, the Palchik Family Foundation, Zechon Nishmas Harav Goy Reb Shlomo Palchik, the Meshitzer Ilui. The Masechta sponsored anonymous for Shlomo Lamoshe ben Nizah, anonymous for completely for Shlomo and Arichas Yom Talea Bas Esther, Yisrael Malki, Tovli Torah Spicham Alfi Zav Chesef. We are so proud of you, Yaakov Mordechai. Keep steiging. Send the Gross and family, Canvey Island, UK, in honor of Rebelli, who changed my meaning of life. Ploni Almoini, Yossi, Mark, and Benny, and all the Oiskim Tzarche MDY, Akash Baruch Shalom Scharam. Official edition MDY Shas, Masechta by the Iranian Levi families, Perik, anonymous. Lili Nishmas Avi Moira, Rabbi Chaim, Berab Yosef Zichron Levracha, Lamed Tammuz Tavshin Pei. Josh Salomon, the Daf of the official edition Shas. Josh Salomon, Lili Nishmat, Shalom ben Chaim Zichron Levracha, Lili Nishmat, Levi Zev ben Simcha Shlomo Zichron Levracha. The monthly sponsors, Ayi Simon, L'Refu Shlei Mavi Moiri Baruch ben Miriam, who Aryeh went all the way to America to bring his father here to make Aliyah. What? He went for 2 days. They're here. They're in. It's a tough one. Be'ez Hashem should go well. Jamie Azulai, Refu Shlema, Esther Bas, Luna, Moshe Aaron and Miriam Landy, Hoydel Hashem Kitoiv, Kilo Elam Chazdoi, anonymous for the merit of Refu Shlema for all Klai Yisrael who need a Refu Shlema. Saw Fishy Fisher in honor of Moshe's putting on tefillin, anonymous for the merit of Refu Shlema from Malka Bas Chaya. Oh, Momo put on tefillin yesterday. Mazel tov to Momo. Centers.com, helping Yidden down Betzibur with Papa Binyanim anywhere worldwide. Lili Nishmas Chaim Shalom Ben Betzalel. Rabbi say you got used to no sponsors, and here we are. We got to do the sponsors once in a while. Weekly sponsors: Lev Avos staff therapist. Refuah Shlema to Moshe Ben Bracha Menal of Lev Avos for selflessly donating his kidney. Daily sponsors: Moshe Zared, the memory of Feirachel Bazalman Ephraim Alevi, mother of Moshe Zared, and Neshama should have an aliyah. Dr. Alan Listhouse, in memory of my dear uncle Avram Yaakov Ben Aroy and Uncle Jack. Zichron Levracha was the best. You guys remember Alan Listhouse, Dr. Alan? From the beginning, he's going to be on the cruise. Mike and Chuli's son, in memory of our grandfather, Lothar Khan, Zichron Levracha, pillar of the Chicago community, learned Daf Yomi for over 30 years in Rabbi Eliezer Eisenberg Shir. David Steinloff, for the years of my mother, Sarachel Bas Yisrael Avram, Joel Azuri, in memory of Leora Tovabat, Rachamim, for the highest Aliyah, Neshama, and blessing for our kids. Yankin Esti, Erenthal, Fuas, Brachasar Mirim, Baslei Chayat Poira. Daily sponsors, Scott Richards, in honor of Avi and Sarah, may Hashem bless them with much Gashmis and Ruchnias. Yankee Z, thanks to Shimi Leibowitz for Chayk Yisrael with Rabbi Yoeli Lubavitch, the famous. Well, I thought Shimi is doing his brother's, I don't know, okay. Shimi doesn't do the chayk, his brother does it, no? Anybody know? Shimi works for us. Adar Global, oh, that's turning the daf. Wow. Now you know why I don't do the sponsors every day. Okay. Rabbi Isai, we're holding by Boyi Ravashi. Like 9 lines from the bottom of Lamed Ches Amud Beis. Lamed Ches Amud Beis. Here's the question. I want you to think about this question before you answer. If you have a cotton beged, such as this, cotton beged, can you put in cotton tzitzis in a cotton beged? Rabbi Isai, don't answer together. You say yes. Could you put wool tzitzis on a cotton beged? Could you put cotton tzitzis on a polyester beged? Yes, no. Who said yes? I wear them. Cotton, you wear polyester beged? Okay, but what kind of tzitzis do you have there? You don't know if they're tzitzis, Okay, so that's what we're going to learn today. And then we have something I mentioned yesterday. We have Rabbi Vosner has a shul next to the Merkaz over here, Shevet HaLevi, and if you walk by his shul and you have tzitzis like Rabbi Greenman's son, who has tzitzis up to his ankles, he grabs you into his office and he takes this special pair of scissors. I bought these scissors also, Mishkan Tchelis. These are ceramic scissors that people say, oh, you should be makbid not to cut your tzitzis not with metal. He takes it, snip, snip. He doesn't ask any questions, and we're going to talk about that also. I would argue with him. I want to sit down with him and say that somebody that is so excited about his tzitzis and he thinks that it's geshmak, and for him that's the geshmak and that's the noi. I don't see, like, he made a whole movement out of it. Like, don't go next to the shul because he's going to chop your tzitzis off. Says the Gemara, Boy Rav Ashi. Alimi deloy mi'anvi. So just to remind the oil, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but there's something called Yedume, and that's, just to remind the oil. Now, we're not showing all this for the new guys that weren't here yesterday. Yedume means that if your tzitzis snip all the way to the end by the kesher, so there's different ways it can happen, and that was the video yesterday. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. Oh, this for sure, not this part. Okay. So, but the question is like this. Yesterday we finished off saying that if you could make a little slip knot in the tzitzis, which is like about 2 fingers long, then it's okay. So, as Rav Ashi, what if it's very, very thick? You got really thick strings, and you can't make that knot. Had they been thin, the thinner variety, you could make a knot. Mai. Is that how do you figure what you need to have a 20-inch piece left over in order to make the knot? It's like as thick as like a ship's rope. You can't make a knot if it's 2 fingers. So what do you do? So he says, it's perfect. It's so thick that everybody sees that behind after the kesher. Where's my tzitzis over here? You have this part. You have the chulyos. You have the whole, what is it called? Let's go back. Excellent. You have the chulyos and you have the gdil, and the strings are called psil or onof. So you have this whole gdil, and then over here you have a small piece that's hanging down, but it's very thick. So he says, it's great. You're right, you can't make a slip knot, but it's very thick, and everybody sees that you're wearing tzitzis, it's perfect. Yesterday we discussed Rebbe. Rebbe says that in our generation, nobody would be wearing tzitzis. Why? Because without tchelis, without blue, or else everybody would say that you could. This is the tchelis, I don't know what they would say. But it would be very difficult for a lot of people to wear tzitzis, because without the blue, you can't wear white. That's what Rebbe says. Without the white, you can't wear blue. One is makiv the other. Who argues on that? Luckily, somebody argues. This is right, Rabbi Sami. This is the best. As a Magid these lines are the best. So let's do it again. Freebies. Let's do it again because it's so geschmack. Rabbi Yitzchak Omer, Mishum Rabbi Nosson, Sha'amar Mishum Rabbi Yosi, send the name Rabbi Yosi Aglili, Sha'amar Mishum Rabbi Yochim Ben Nuri. If you don't have tcheles, matil lavan. You don't need, one is not makiv the other. Oh, I didn't read those emails. What's the word ma'akiv? So we have somebody here that says ma'akiv means to hold back. And then somebody says imperative, crucial. Okay? Yudah Dresner. No, not Massive. No. Hold back. I like hold back. It's imperative. Okay, fine. What's your best word? It's mandatory. In the official shas, we're words like that. You're right. It's ma'akiv. We'll say it once at the beginning of sugya. Beis Hamikdash is Beis Hamikdash, not the temple or the. I got it. Yeah, that's already. That's a given. It says, Omarov, Shma mino tzorach likshor akol chulya v'chulya. We know today, if you look at your tzitzis, there's 5 knots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 knots. It's a double. 5 doubles. Okay. In order to be a knot, it has to be double. Kesher shkayama. So it's 5 knots. We call it 5. He brings a raya that there's different knots in it. Why? Because if there's only 1 knot, and you have this little gardumim, so we all know what happens. If you have a little string sticking out of a knot, what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to pop open, and the whole knot is going to go. And if that happens, then right now it's no good. The tzitzis aren't good. That's not considered a real knot. And your tzitzis don't have knots, and they're open. halachically they're open. So you see from here that if I'm telling you that gardume is okay, that those small pieces that stick out, let's do some charts here. This is what's going to happen if you only have one knot. It's going to pop open, you're not going to have any kesher, and no kesher means puzzle. So I see from here that I have additional knots backing me up, and that's why a small piece remaining, a gardume, is okay. Because I don't need to create additional knots. We said yesterday that the sons of Reb Chia hold that the leftover pieces, and again, this is to remind the Olam, it means that you started off with kosher tzitzis, they had the right shear, but later on, it happens all the time, your tzitzis get stuck in the door, whatever it is, you pull it by mistake, they become very weak after washing them. Then they're kosher if you have a certain amount. Also, I didn't look in halacha, but I did mention this, that they only become puzzle if you rip two of them. In other words, one whole string is ripped all the way to the kesher. Because if it's only one, then it has the backup, the other string on the other side. That's what we learned. I don't know la halacha how it works. All four on one side should be okay. Exactly. All four on one side should be okay. But that's not la halacha. I don't want to paskin anything over here. Yeah, that's if you make sure. Here, I'll show you. So, when you tie tzitzis, Ari is back. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. You tie a slip knot on 4, and then the other 4, are not part of that, and then you just keep on going. I started this last night in Shir, and I didn't undo it. There, somebody can undo it. Eshain Tzirik. Aryeh, was that prepared or was on the spot? Be'emes. He's waiting for the right opportunity. Okay. Once the upper knot comes undone, the whole thing falls apart. Says the Gemara, Daf Lametes Amud Aleph, Dilma de Iktar. Who told you? Maybe Bnei Reb Chia. If that's the case, that you only have one knot, Bnei Reb Chia would say that the Gerumi is no good. When did they say Girdumi is good? Is when there's additional knots. So we don't have a good raya that you must make extra knots. Again, they didn't say one blanket statement that Girdumi is always good. They said Girdumi is good if you know that for a fact it's not going to become undone. Why? Because you have additional knots. Kesher Elyoin Doiraisa. Kesher Elyoin is this kesher. If you want to be technical about it, Kesher Elyoin means the last, not the Elyon on top, all the way by the beged, but the last one is Kesher Elyon. But it's not necessarily that Kesher. It means any knot. You do any knot anywhere, that's a Doiraisa. There's a halacha l'Moshe Messinai that you must make a knot. A knot. Why? Very, very simple. Here, give me my scissors, please. Let's think about it for a second. I want to undo this completely. Okay. If I insert tzitzis like this, just like that, am I yoytze? How do I know? Maybe I'm yoytze. Who says that you have to make a knot? That's what I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to prove to you I have to make a knot. Why? Because there's a whole sugya. We learned the whole idea of esed, doicha lois esed, that when there's a positive commandment in the Torah to do something, it overrides the negative commandment. The Torah says to put in tchelis with lavan. Tchelis we know for a fact has to be always tzemer, has to be wool. And the beged usually is pishtan. That's what they had in the time, back then. The Torah says to put tzitzis that are tzemer into a beged that's pishtan. And that's shatnas. But the Torah says to do it. So you see that the positive commandment, the mitzvah say, forget positive commandment, we're talking about official edition now. Esa doicha lois esa. Now what? Now the question is, this is not shatnas. If I go like this, if I just put a string into a hole, into a beged, that's not shatnas. Shatnas is 2 stitches, 2 tfiros. So why do you have to come onto a whole sugya? Why does the Torah have to tell us that Esa Doichaloisa said that the mitzvah of tzitzis pushes off the aveira of shatnez? There is no shatnez. I'm yotzeh by this. I just go, oh, is there right that I'm not yotzeh like this? The only way to be yotzeh is I have to make a kesher. I have to tie it. Oh, once I tie it, now it becomes shatnez because it's part of my beged. It's shatnez. And then the Torah says, it's okay. You're allowed to have shatnez on your tzitzis. Why do I have to tell you that you're allowed to use a linen beged with wool tzitzis? Pshita. If you just put the tzitzis into the hole, it's not considered a connection. It's not considered sewn in. You see from here, you must make a kesher. And once you make a kesher, halachically becomes shatnez. To the point, let's say, you're wearing only a whole tzitzis popped off, ripped off. So now you're left with 3, and your beged is linen. Your tzitzis are wool. Now you're wearing shatnez. You must remove it immediately. But if you're wearing 4, then you don't have to remove it. Why? Because you're doing a mitzvah. And what's mi'ikaroi? Right over here. Mi'ikaroi means all the way on the top. So if the string ripped over there, psula. When did it rip exactly? And Rava asked Rav Nachman. Tchilasi over here doesn't mean on the top. Tchilasi means when you initially made the tzitzis. In the beginning, while you're making the tzitzis. But later on, if you made the tzitzis and everything was kosher v'yosher, and there's shiyarim and gardumim. So the Brisa uses two lashonos over here. There's shirayim and there's gardumim. So the Gemara understands it must mean 2 separate things. Gardumov, until now we were learning, means that there's a little tiny piece left over after the knot. And now the Gemara is learning gardumim means this picture right over here. That it's ripped all the way on the top. 1 string is ripped on the top. Nishke ferlach. That's the havamina. Why? Because I'm using 2 lashonos. Shiyarav means left over. Shiyarav would mean I have a little piece of tzitzis at the Shirayim would mean after the knots, ripped right over here. And gardumim, it's another word, so it must be something else. So it means it's ripped over here on the top. My shiur, my gedumov, my lav, l'chayra, shiur of the ifsik minayu, v'shtayir minayu. Shirai means that there's a little bit left over after all the knots, after the chulyas and everything. Gardumov, the gardu, mi gardume, that it got ripped all the way on the top. So you see from here, that's okay. Loi, chadaktani. Gardumim shiraim is 1 sentence. 1 halacha. Shir gardumov kolshu. When you have leftover of the gardumim, even a little bit is okay. V'leime gardumov shir lamali. So why do I have to use 2 lashonos? How come Ashwell in the beginning shir gardumov kedei lanvam? Like we discussed before, you have to. It's shirayim. It's not enough to have a little bit. You have to have shirayim. What's shirayim? Enough to make a slip knot. Yosef Rabbi v'kamer mishmei de Rav. Interesting sugi over here. Just Rabbi said in the name of Rav, and he's going to be corrected that it's not Rav, it's Shmuel. And later on, Rabbi says in the name of Shmuel, it's going to be corrected, it's not Shmuel, it's Rav. We know, these are halachas that we know, and how do we know them? From this Gemara right over here. When you insert those strings into your tzitzis, into your beged, you have four strings, 4 tzitzis. In this case, I have, it's machlokes, 1 tchelah string, 2 tchelah strings, machlokes rishonim, whatever it is. Then you take, maybe you should take another string, a 5th string, and start making all these knots. Start wrapping around, go around the circles, make 5 knots. Who told you that you're allowed to use one of the 4 strings for that? The Gemara. Chutshel kerech, the one that goes around, they call it the shamash here in Israel. I don't know what it's called in America. The shamash. Oilam in aminyan. It could be one of the 4 strings. Omer Rav Yosef, Shmuel Amar v'loy Rav. There's a Gemara in Gittin that says Rav Yosef says, I'm very medayik in names. I never make mistakes in names. And here he comes, he says, you made a mistake. It's not Rav, it's Shmuel. Okay. It's Menami. Omer Rabbi Barav Chona, Sachli Rav Yosef the Menusha, Chutshel kerech, Oilam in aminyan. you're allowed to use one of the 4 strings as the shamish to wrap around the rest of the tzitzis. Yosef Rava, and the Goyres over here, Rabba, as usual, all over Shas, that name gets confused. Because Omar Mishmei de Shmuel. Now over here it's the opposite. He said in the name of Shmuel, Tcheles shekorach ruba kshera. So for the rest of the sugya, I think, or a lot, you have to pay attention. When it says tcheles, it doesn't refer to the blue string. Tcheles in this case means the strings. Tcheles, the strings, rather than the beged. Instead of saying there's the beged, there's the actual garment, and then there's the tcheles, the strings. Shekorach ruba kshera. Show you very, very simple. As the Gemara is going to say in a second, the best way to make your tzitzis is 1/3 gedil and 2/3 anav. Meaning, here, I'm going to take my tzitzis right over here. 1/3. Now I'm going to go down like this. That's another, and 2/3. Uh-oh, it's sticking out a little bit. So Rav Vosner takes his scissors. Boom. Now it's perfect. Now it's noi. It's exact. 2/3 and 1/3. 2/3 and 1/3. That's how it should be. All these, we could theoretically throw them into the garbage, but we don't. Put in gniza. After shear, Remendi is going to go to the gniza for me. In a bag. Put it in the bag. No, what people do, they put it in a plastic bag and they put it in the garbage. You could also do that. Better, Gemara, fine. Not in a public Gemara though. In your Gemara. Yeah, okay. Zog the Gemara. It's Tashmish Mitzvah. Which, that's what I said, that's the nafkamina la'alach between Tashmish Mitzvah and Tashmish Kedusha, like Ritzuas, you have to put in Geniza. Tashmish Mitzvah, you don't have to put in Geniza. The people are makbid. They're sensitive to it. So what he's saying is, this is lechatchila. It should be 1/3 gdil, 2/3 anaf. The strings should be only 2/3. What if you do the opposite? You go like this: 2/3 gdil, 1/3 anaf. Tcheles shekarach ruba kshera. It's okay. And if you only did one like this, one chulya, one round, also kosher. Doesn't say in the Torah how many you have to do. We're going to get in a second. It's miramis to this, miramis to that. V'noit chelas. However, if you want it to be zekeli v'amveyu, you want it to be beautiful, shlish gdil u'shnei shlish yonav. Like this picture right over here. I'm sorry, not this one. This one. 1/3 gdil, 2/3 anaf or psil. How many times do you have to go around with the string? Tanya, Rabbi Omer, Kadesh Yichroch, Vishna Vishalish. Let's see if I could do it here for a second. Maybe not everybody knows how to do it. People, I got emails yesterday that you took it for granted. I'm 40-something years old, the guy writes to me, and I didn't know that my tefillin have 4 legs and 3 legs on the same. I never paid attention to it. Thanks for pointing it out. You pretended everybody knows. I didn't know. I got a few of these emails. I'm not exaggerating, Rabbi Isai. Maybe I am. Between 30 to 40 emails about this. Let me show you real quickly. I couldn't believe it. I Pasha couldn't believe it. You remember I interviewed those two guys, the guy with the 2 heads?
Maybe you should shave. Your beard is really scratching me.
I asked them, since when they're part of the thing.
I really like doing it with Reb Shmuley. I personally think the MDY videos are Bittul Torah, but I'm mevater to my bearded brother.
And they said, what Masechta do you learn? Since when are you with us? And he says,
since Kiddushin.
And then what speed do you learn?
I do it on 1x, but he likes doing it on 2x.
Okay. The reason I'm showing you this is because I'm not exaggerating. 30 emails. Where are they? Where do they live? I'm not joking. There's people out there. The way the editors did it, and because we had mess ups during share, because I'm supposed to ask the question, they're supposed to answer. Beloy goes, if 30 people wrote in, that means there's hundreds that didn't write in, and they're convinced. There's a guy watching the share. So it's so nice that nobody said the way you spoke to him, compliments that you weren't nice enough, you were this. Rabbi says it's not real, okay? It's AI. AI. Okay? Here we go.
I'm a Rebbe, and he's a swimming instructor.
Yeah, okay. And it occurred to me, that's why people are so upset about the Beis Hamikdash videos. Like, they think it's real, like some of the stuff. Like, wow. Okay. Not real. And okay, so here. You put this in here, and you say L'Shem Kedushas Tzitzis, and you put the white in first, and then you make one knot, and then you make a second knot. This is what I say? Yeah, no good. Oh, and then you make a slip knot over here. So you don't, how do you make a slip knot again? Okay, I don't know. You go like this. That's a regular knot, kishmak here, like this. And then you take, let's say, this guy. This will be my shamash. And I go like this. 1, 2, 3. It's a shvach shamash, but okay. 3 times. Now, what's interesting, I saw Reb Chaim Kanevsky writes, and nobody knew about this. I don't know if it's the minhag or not. How do you wrap the tzitzis? How do you go like this? So he says, depends on how you wear tefillin. Ashkenazim, they wrap the ritzuas counterclockwise, and Sfard wraps their ritzuas clockwise. I was all confused yesterday. I'm going like this, but I really go like this. Kids are... figure it out yourself, and that's how you're supposed to wrap the tzitzis, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Your wife is going to see you going like this, and then like you'll explain to her that you're not a meshugana, you're just trying to see how you do the tefillin. Okay. Zog the Gemara, kidei sheyichroich v'yishne v'yishalish. So it happens to be that that's what Teimanim do, and I noticed that that's what my gra tied tchelas has. Only 3. 3 white, 3 blue, 3 white, 3 blue. Based on this Gemara right over here. What does everybody do? 7, 8, 11, 13. There's some that do 7, 9, 11, 13. And that's the Gemara right over here. Tana, you shouldn't have less than 7. 7 going around. So that's why people, they start 7, then they do the next one 8, the next one 11, and the next one 13. Because you're not supposed to do less than 7. You're not supposed to do more than 13. What's up with the 7? Keneged shiva rikim, 7 heavens. Not more than 13. Keneged shiva rikim, v'shisha avirim shebeneim. I thought it was interesting. Where else do we have in Yiddishkeit 7 and 13? Anybody? What? Sorry, man. What about her? Oh, like this 7? No, that's 3. What? Anybody else? Who? Who said? But who said Parei Chag? Who said Parei Chag? That's what I'm talking about. Rabbi Willig. Yishkoyach Rabbi Willig in the back. Parei Chag. It starts on Sukkot. We start with 13 cows and we go all the way down to 7. I have no idea. I don't think it has a connection, but maybe. Who knows? I did this whole Southwest thing, so I thought maybe this will another one that could possibly keep the oilam engaged. To remember, how do you remember Sheva Rekim V'Shisha? 6 avirim between the Sheva Rekim. Those who know. Mendy has no idea what we're looking at over here. What? I'm right. You see, he's like, what is that? You know what those? You know how many stars are there? How many stars are there? 52. Oh, nishlech. Tanak shumatchi matchi belavan. Oh, Rabbi, so once again, because that was the question I had yesterday. What's more important, the blue or the white strings? So it seems like the white, and that's what the Gemara says over here, Nachamol. That you start with the white. So you see white tzitzis. I don't know if you could see, but they start with the white. It starts with white, then goes to blue, white, blue, and you end off with white. You always start with the white and end off with white. There's a few very important Rashis, Tosfos. Look at the, first of all, Tosfos brings a different Rashi from a different place. He says, Pirush B'Kuntris. Tzitzis shkula keneged kol ha-mitzvos. Tzitzis is equal to all the mitzvahs. Tzitzis oil tough reish. If you do the math, it's very, very simple. Gematria. Tzadik and Yud, 90 plus 10 equals 100. Again, Tzadik plus Yud, another 100. So that's 200. Tough is 400. So total is 600. So you have tough reish, you have 600. V'ches plus 8 strings. V'chamisha ksharim oila taryag. So that's how you get to taryag mitzvahs. Shisha avirim shebein shiva rikim, says Rashi over here. B'Hashem shatchelas doim liyam b'yam doim l'rikia. This is the famous Gemara, and this is human nature. It's a interesting Gemara. How one thing reminds you of another thing. We had in the sugya that you're not allowed to look at a woman's clothing hanging on the laundry, the whole thing. One thing brings to another thing to another thing. They always ask the question, if it's blue, so you go directly to Shemayim. No, that's not how it works. It goes in steps. This blue reminds you of the ocean, of the beach, and the beach reminds you of the Shemayim, and the Shemayim reminds you of the Kisei HaKavod. That's why I really liked, I'm just going to show it again for a few seconds here. I don't know if you noticed, as the drone comes in, this is in Tzvat, so immediately in this base medrash of Kulei Tchelas, you see on the wall, you see a beach, and the ceiling is the Shemayim. That was part of the shtick over here. That's why they're wearing Kulei Tchelas. But anyways. Okay, that's yesterday. AI, yeah. So from now on, the Olam is going to have to remind the Olam it's AI. The Bismillah does not exist in Tzvat. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Tanok, Shumatcha Matcha Belovin, you should always start with the white. Hakarav Min Kanov, because the garment, the pisht on the white, the tzitzis are like that. They're white. Ukshu Messiah, and when you finish off, Messiah Belovin, and also in white, Malam Bakoidish V'Lemirid, and here once again you see the first idea that the white, it has more chashivas than the blue. Rav, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing the Tosfos over here. Okay, Zok the Gemara. Rav v'Rav Baruchano have yasving. The two of them were sitting. Have a kachol v'azala hu gavra the mikasek lima the kulat chelta. Someone's wearing here in Eretz Yisrael, like the uniforms in the girls' school are like a lot of times kulat chelas. They all have this blue. Maybe in America also. It's cool. He was wearing a garment kulat chelas. V'ramalei chelta. And what does chelta mean, Rabbi Yisai? What does chelas mean in the sugya? Tzitzis. Ugdilo migdal. He basically didn't have an onof. He had 0 strings. It was like this. Like this. Here, you know what? We'll just do this. Boom. This is what it was. Kishmak. Omer Rav, says Rav, yoy glima. It's a beautiful garment. V'lo yoy tchelta. You have no tzitzis though. I don't like your tzitzis. Rav Barchan Omar, yoy glima b'yoy tchelta. I argue, no. They're both sitting there watching this thing go by. And one argues and says, no, it's perfect tzitzis. It's great. This is great. You have a bunch of knots. No tzitzis on the bottom. Beautiful. But Michael, what's the machlokes? Rav Barchana Sovar, the ksiv gdil, ksiv til. Here we go. Gdilim taseh loch alar bakamfus ksuscho. That's in Dvarim Perek Chof Beis, and in Bamidbar Perek Tesvav. V'nosnu al tzis hakon of psil tcheles that we say every day. So on the one hand, it's called gdil. Gdil means to weave, and this is kind of a weaved piece, to weave it together, to make strings come together. Uksiv ptil. Ptil means a string. So which one is it? It's a contradiction. Oy gdil, oy ptil. So this is perfect. Says Rav Barchan, I like it. It's gewaldig. He's mekayim the mitzvah of gdil. It doesn't have to be both. One or the other. V'rasav eloilam ptil bina. No, you need strings. V'ahu gdilim. And why does it say gdilim? Liminyanu dasa. To tell me how many strings. I don't know how many strings. The Torah doesn't say how many. Gdil shnayim. In order to weave something, you need at least 2 strings to make some sort of weave. Gdilim arba. And it says a double, a plural lashon. So it means 4 strings. I say gdil upasleu mitoichai. Very hard wording here. You should make a gdil. You should weave it. Upasleu mitoichai. What does that mean? So Rashi has 2 pshatim, and one pshat is that it means, continue with our sugya, that you have strings coming out of it on the bottom. So you have a bunch of knots, you have a weaved part, and after that, poislei mitoichai, you have strings. Sponsors. Turning of the daf. Adar Global, happy clients all year, not just this month. Lishadich.com, please read a shidduch today. I'm all for it. We got to make something has to change in the matzav. I had Shlomo Reich's daughter for Shabbos, and she was telling me about you know Shlomo Reich. I don't know Shlomo Reich from the Five Towns. His yeshiva. What's the name of his yeshiva? Shar. Who said that? Yeah, Shar. That's exactly what it's called. He's a great guy. He lived in Chicago. Went snowboarding with him a bunch of times. Kitzer. So what they do? She has a whole thing. The Doilam said but it's for the older, like already 25, 26, older. But they sit in rooms. The girls sit in one room, and the boys in another room, and they have shadchanim go back and forth, and they basically take out the whole process of going through the information. They cut to the chase a lot, and they made a lot of shidduchim like that. Kids, we got to come up with something. Anyway, read a shidduch today. Givaldik. Tefillin awareness. Thank you. Rabbi Schachter, what do you have? What do you got for us? What do people, what should we notice? What?
Okay, there's a lot of things. I'll try to the important things that people are not aware of.
Yes.
The tefillos, the stitching, which is mainly the problem under the shalrosh. There's three problems we see. And I've seen.
Here, give me my tefillin meanwhile. Ellie, pick it up. Yeah, keep on going.
Yeah, sometimes it's missing. Part of the tefillos are missing. Sometimes they're ripped, and more often they're loose. And once those tefillos are loose, you lose the ribua on the tefillos. So not only do the bottom have to be a perfect square, but the tefillos, the stitching also has to be a perfect square. And once it becomes a little bit loose,
that's what Allah mentioned. So you're talking about these tefillos down here.
Correct.
Sometimes they pop out. I've never seen that.
Sometimes they're missing actually.
So look at your tefillos. Make sure that you have stitching over here, because it's perfectly square. This is Allah that these tefillos have to be square. Okay, next.
It's not loose. Make sure it's not loose.
Not loose.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there's make sure the kesher. I'm just saying random.
Yeah.
The kesher of the rosh cannot be too low. So many times people know.
Yeah, that I spoke about in shir. I had a guy stand up here. It shouldn't be too low. There's a bump in your skull and should be above the bump. At least part of it should be touching. Right.
But the
Yeah.
thing is that no part of that kesher can be on an area
where there's no hair. If there's no hair growing, then you're not yotz at all. We spoke about that in shir. Yes.
Okay. Then there's ritzua issues. Sometimes they become too narrow. And I have cards that I can give out. But,
Naftali showed us his ritzu was completely ripped because he was doing it to the left, and he's a lefty and whatever, and it was completely ripped. And somebody else, Rafal the barber, also had that issue.
It's not only ripped; it's
the width. Where's Rosenberg? Pull out your tefillin in a second. Look at your width. I'm serious. Show it to Rabbi Schachter right now. You might need show you Rabbi Natan that you gave me to wear on the shel yad. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so sometimes they're too narrow. These are three different sheets. There's Rav Chaim Noah and Rav Chazon Ish. And you put the ritzua on the card, and if you see any white, then you have a problem.
Quicker, no, what do you do slower? Let's go. Pretend you're in the middle of davening, you have to put those ribbon toms on. Yeah.
Sometimes they're torn, sometimes it's...
No. The ritzua of your shilyad, where you pull it. I want to Yeah.
It was their project.
What? It was their project. What's it called? Project?
Tefillin Awareness Project.
Tefillin Awareness Project. Ask them to come to your shul and show them. No, show them the ritzua. Show them your thing quickly.
If you stretch it out, it might work. It might be good. Let me just see. A second.
Let him do it. Let the pro do it. Take it up. Oops. Somebody has to fast now.
It's just okay. But it's going to get more narrow. As you pull, it stretches.
Yeah.
So it's going to pull, and then it's going to get too narrow.
I told you shouldn't lend me your tefillin. I wanted to put on Rabbi Natan one time. I don't know if I was yaitza. The one time I wanted to wear Rabbi Natan. Okay, no, he says it's good. Shkoyach.
Sometimes the kesher is too loose. The kesher of the yad is not in the right place. It's not touching the bias.
Oh, the kesher has to be touching the bias. I didn't speak about that. I forgot to mention that. You have to. It's kedai to put a gid around it and pull it.
Yeah, so some seifim are experts. They can.
And the kesher has to be in the right direction also.
Right, sometimes they're upside down.
They're upside down.
Sometimes the yud is missing. The yud is buried. Some of the yud is buried is going to many muscles.
The kids are bring the pros to your shul. That's the bottom line.
Mr. Hashem will talk about that. We'll discuss.
Okay.
We'll bring you here, Mr. Hashem.
Okay, Givaldik. Looking forward. Okay, let me just give you a quick rundown of what we're going to learn here. It's super easy. And then, of course, the Gemara goes in and out, but at the end of the day, what do we have here? You all knew this, basically, so there's not a big chiddush here. The tzemer strings, which these are tzemer, wool, strings, work on any single beged, even polyester, cotton, everything. What's going to come out from the sugya is that linen strings also work on every single beged. What about silk strings? Silk strings only work on silk, and cotton only works on cotton, etc., etc. And that's the whole sugya here. Oh, if you have wool, it's good enough even for linen. The question is, and what's the answer going to be? Does pishtim work? Does linen work for tzemer? The answer is yes. Linen works for everything. Just there's only two strings that work for everything. Tzemer and pishtim works for everything. Oh, I forgot to show you this video. Chaval. This is in the sugya where the tzitzis got ripped. It's a nice video. I don't know if it gives a shot in the sugya. Oh, here's the machlokes. Is that good or not? And it's, all the video showing is that according to one sheet that we saw, Rabbi Ravachana, it's good. What he just did, he cut it over there. That's fine. So he accepted that schayra. And according to the other sheet, that's not good. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Toshma, Domer, Rachva, Omer, Rav Yuda, Chuteit, did I jump? Yes. Iboilu, shall pish the mouth, shivdir, shall tzemer, tzemer shall pish the Huda Potter. Maybe the Torah only says wool in linen is okay. The Kivin, the Tchelis, Potter, the Potter, love, and Nami Potter. We know that the blue strings, over here, Tchelis means Tchelis. Tchelis, Potter, the blue strings are wool, and that's okay in Pishton. Love, and Nami Potter. Maybe when the strings are tzemer, they're white, it's also potter. Our pishtim is tzemer light. But maybe if the string is pishtim, it's linen in a beged that's tzemer, maybe it's not good. The Torah says, do not wear shatnez. And then the Torah gave you a heter to wear shatnez and tzitzis. Maybe it makes no difference. And the Gemara just says, Toshma, the Omer Rachva, Omer Rabbi Yehuda, Chudei Tzemer, Poidim Shel Pishton, Shel Pishton, Poidim Shel Tzemer. That's the bottom line. That linen is good in all clothing, even in Tzemer, even in wool. Which, not even, because that's a big chiddush. That linen is good in wool, even though it's shatnez. Chudei Tzemer, Pishton, Poidim B'chol Makayim. And the bottom line is that the strings that are wool or linen, they're good in every single type of situation, even in silk. Here we have a quick video. I don't know if we have time. We don't have time, so I'm going to just keep on going. By the way, just real quickly, I want to point out while you're watching this, is that this is how you make, there's a bunch of, when I was a kid in Bnei Brak, I lived in Bnei Brak for 3 years, and kids used to collect caterpillars. And they used to watch them make a cocoon and come out like a moth. My son in Florida has these. He has caterpillars. He bought caterpillars, and they live in his backyard. And they're beautiful butterflies. So he has a bunch of these cool butterflies. Anyway, but the Shulchan Aruch says that a Yirei Shamayim should wear a wool beged. So I saw that Shulchan Aruch, and I ran and I bought a wool beged, and then I realized that the Vilna Gaon says, the Vilna Gaon did not wear. He says, even though it's better to wear wool, but the Vilna Gaon wanted to show that you could wear even cotton. So in the Chazon Ish was makbid to wear only cotton. What? Yeah, but the Yirei Shamayim should wear tzemer. I'm just throwing it out there. That we passingly, that's why the Gaon said it, that we passingly remember that cotton, right. To say cotton is also good. Okay. So the Gemara. Upligi the Rav Nachman, And this argues on Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Ashirayim Pturim and Atzitzis. That Rav Nachman says that if you have a silk beged, you have a silk shirt, it does not need tzitzis. Rav Nachman and Rav asks Akasha to Rav Nachman Ashirayim Ba'klach Ba'asrik, and these are all types of different grades of silk. Kulon Chayav and B'tzitzis. It says Mefurish that you have a silk shirt. A lot of people have silk shirts or whatever. The Chayav and tzitzis. So he says, oh no, that's Midrabanan. You're not chayiv b'tzitzis. So the Rabban said you should also be makbid on it. As the Gemara, it's a big cash over here. If it's only the Rabbanon, so how in the world do you put tzitzis that are shatnez on it? That you could put tzemer and pishtim together as tzitzis. You have linen white and blue tzemer, and that's shatnez in your silk garment. How do you wear shatnez in something that's potter from tzitzis? If it's doiraisa, it's chayv doiraisa, it's fine. But if it's potter from tzitzis with doiraisa and rabbanon were machmer, you have no right to put shatnez in there. What's the easy answer? Yamers b'shlo b'doiraisa, how did the b'shlo b'uklayim? Eliyamers the rabbanon, if it's only rabbanon, how b'shlo b'uklayim? How do they allow klayim? Oh, ema oy tzemer oy b'shlo. Doesn't mean that you put the strings that are wool and linen together. It means either or. So there's no real shatnez there. Hachanam mistabra. The Ktani Seifa, because it says at the end, Hein b'minam poitrim. The silk is poiter by itself. In other words, with silk strings. Silk strings are poiter the silk garment. Shalai b'minam einam poitrim. But the silk strings are not good in a cotton garment. The Gemara understands here that you don't need tzemer eliyamers doiraisa tzemer pishtim with the potar. The Gemara understands that you would need tzemer upishtim. You need wool in order to make it potter, and on that the Gemara says no, and this is the bottom line. No, for that you didn't learn it well. Rava, because we go like Rava. The Rava has a contradiction. Ksiv hakonof min konof, that your tzitzis should be from the same material as your garment. Uksiv tzemer pishim. On the flip side it says it should be wool or linen. Okay, so what do we do? Rabbi says it's good to remember this. If you have wool or linen strings, they're good for every type of garment in the world, even polyester. There was actually if I'm not mistaken, remember back in the day when they had this funny tzitzis that had a lot of holes in it? The fishnet tzitzis? So this company that was making the mesh tzitzis, supposedly, were making these tzitzis for children with the cotton beged, this is like cotton, but the strings were made out of cotton. Well, that's okay. But what happened was, they realized, cotton strings are good. Let's use it for the fishnet. But the fishnet is made out of polyester, so cotton doesn't work on polyester. So it became a whole tumult then. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm making this up. Let's pretend, here, he did a whole thing, Chaval, I didn't show this. The beged is pishton, you can use semer. What if the beged is tzemer? Use pishton as well. Okay, all these different beautiful things he did here. Okay, Givaldi. Sharminam eminam poitrim. Shleim eminam ein poitrim. Okay, it's the wool and the linen is good for every type of beged. Shamina b'minam poitrim. But other, like silk strings, work for silk. Poitrim. Shaloi b'minam ein poitrim. Should we stop there? Now we're not going to go to the bottom. We only have 1 minute. So let's see what we can do in 1 minute. V'Rav Nachman, the Torah very small. The Torah very small. It says in the Torah the word beged. And by the Nagaim it says tzemer pishtim. So we make like a binyan av. Avkal tzemer pishtim. That's why every other beged is tzemer pishtim. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Yishkach to all the guests.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.